What's going on, guys? Good Drinking here, and today we're going to be talking about why Call of Duty is going downhill. And to start off things, we should talk about the elephant in the room, which is skill-based matchmaking. And skill-based matchmaking has a negative and a positive thing in the Call of Duty community. Some people think skill-based matchmaking helps the newer players, and people should just get better, and that'll fix everything. But what people don't realize is the older Call of Duties like Black Ops 2 had skill-based matchmaking and not to the effect that the newer Call of Duties had. Like these three Call of Duties right here in Modern Warfare 2, they have a different system of how skill-based matchmaking works. In the older Call of Duties, it used to pair you with a couple people around your skill rating, and skill rating will be talked about later on, but the older Call of Duties had that skill rating, and it would throw you in with, newer people or people who have been playing the game for a while and people around your level of skill. The newer Call of Duties do it a little differently. They take your skill rating and your KD of the past 10 games that you have played, and then that is your rating. Once you get past those 10 games, at least in Cold War, that's how it was. Once you get past those 10 games, it would either adjust or stay the same. This is why Cold War was actually a good multiplayer game for skill-based matchmaking, because you had that 10 game leeway. So say one game you did really good, the next you did kind of bad, and the next you did the middle. After those 10 games, that game that you did really, really good in fell off and didn't matter anymore. So it looks at the game that you did really bad in, and then so on and so forth of those 10 games. Now, I think that they should go back to the older system of Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2, the originals, all those, and get rid of this new system that they have. Unless they add a ranked play to the game. Now, if they have a ranked play to the game, this fixes everything. Now, you have ranked play, which has the new SBMM in it, and that skill rating with the hidden MMR. And then you leave public games to the old system. Now, that would work perfectly. Cold War is an example of kind of that old system and the new system mixed in with that 10 game system. Now, do I think this would fix, a lot of people getting burnout on the game? Absolutely. Because if you want to try your hardest and be the best, you go play ranked play. If you want to chill with friends and just play casually, you go play in the public matches. And Warzone is a whole different beast, because when it comes to skill rating MMR, there is never going to be a ranked play for Warzone. So whatever your skill is, it's going to be there. And the top streamers, people say they VPN and use all these things. While VPN does determine kind of the group of players that you get into, well, say if you're in the Midwest of the US and you VPN to East, statistically you're going to get harder games than if you VPN to West. That's how it is in every game, because for some reason the East people love to sweat harder, and I have no idea, and that's a whole different rant for a whole nother day, and I don't understand why. But Warzone just needs more content. And I guess that gets us into our next topic of why the newer Call of Duties for some reason lack that content. It's almost like Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2 are back in the days of Modern Warfare 2019 when COVID was a thing. We're not getting those updates. We're not getting all those new things that we want. The season that we have still has 20 days left as when I'm recording this. And it had, I think, 60 days. And I completed this battle pass because of the 50 tier skips within like a day or two. I completed all the content that the season had to offer. We were promised a mid-season update with Warzone, and it was going to bring Rebirth, and that never happened. So the community is left high and dry with no new content to bring us back into the game. Fortnite has done a really good job of bringing content with their new seasons, new weekly updates every week, whether it's removing game modes, adding guns, removing guns, whatever it may be, balance changes, etc. But I think that Call of Duty has always had that issue of when to bring content in. Now, Modern Warfare 2019, around this time, we were getting excited over Warzone. And Warzone is one of those things where in the beginning it was so hyped, especially Warzone 2.0. It was so hyped, but there was so many bug issues that they neglect to fix. You know, the hackers, the Zen people, it was bad. And they neglect to fix it, ban people, and do all that. And it's just not something that, as a Call of Duty enjoyer myself and kind of grew up on, it's not fun to see Call of Duty go down this path of the game is now boring, there's no new content, and I want to stay away from Call of Duty as much as I can. And every time I play it, it's like, why do I play this game? Because the burnout is real, and I've done everything, there's nothing new, give us something new. You know, DMZ was kind of a fresh of breath air for a few weeks until, you know, the grind isn't an issue for me. I got time. I got all the time in the world. And DMZ was one of those things where they added the raids. Okay, cool. But that was it. That was the mid-season update that we got, was raids. And not everybody wants to do that. You know, where's the multiplayer people happy at? Where's the Warzone people that need to be happy, you know? I guess it's hard to appease the entire community when you're not really focusing on your own game yourself and you're trying to focus on future things. And, you know, the leaks kind of showed zombies, which would have been cool. But we all know we ain't getting that with a Modern Warfare game. You know, they said they were going to add on to the campaign, but that's DMZ was their way of doing it. But they added it behind the hardest content in the game, which was doing a challenge, getting the raid contract, and then doing that content. And if you fail it, you have to get another raid contract within another daily quest or wait. So that brings it really hard. We need to see the game take a turn where we get rid of skill-based matchmaking, put it, I mean, I guess keep it, but change it like it used to be back in the day, where we would get new people in the lobbies, people of our skill level, and people middle of our level and everything, and then just bounce off the lobbies where the 6 people, there's always going to be a new person, a person that's been playing the game, and then a person that's at your skill level in your lobby. That way, you can't just either like pump stop or get stomped in a game, and that would make it enjoyable again. Make a multiplayer experience like Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, like those, like the good old days, and make a ranked play just like they had in the past years with Cold War and Vanguard, but put skill-based matchmaking in those modes. And I think multiplayer would be set. And make regular content. I think the seasons need to be a little bit shorter instead of what they are now. More mid-season update things, like more maps, more game modes maybe. Just something new. And for Warzone, just give us the content that you promised. Like, we didn't get Rebirth at mid-season update. Is that going to be pushed to Season 2 in 20 days? I feel like the community is so far gone now and spread apart, but we all know we'll come back. That's just how it is. It happens with Fortnite, you know, you try out a new season, you play it for the first weeks, you either like it or hate it, and then you leave, you come back at the end of the season, and then you enjoy the new season for a couple of weeks until you get burned out of that, and then you do the same cycle over and over again. Call of Duty's the same way. We keep complaining about the Call of Duties, they don't fix it, they don't do anything about it, but we still buy the same Call of Duty every single year. But it's our voices that'll change it, but they don't seem to want to listen to it. So, again, I think that's why Call of Duty is going downhill. Let me know your opinions. I think I made some really solid points.